Feeling your sits bones. However, you're sitting on the mat this morning, and what are we bringing on this Monday morning to our mat? Feeling your sits bones again, just without changing anything. We'll come into our physical body. Just kind of scan your body with your mind's eye. Just notice how your face, neck, shoulders, how it feels to sit in this position again. How it's feeling. Settling down with that first conscious breath. Breathe in through nose and out through nose. You're really working that diaphragm muscle, making space for the lungs to clear. And since you've been doing this for such a while now, you just notice how we've been in that first breath, just come right into calmness. It's almost like your body knows where to go before your mind puts it there. So now just noticing that physical body, and now we'll set up the platform of hinging the rib cage. And how even doing this, even after doing it months and months and years, it's so neat to connect, to feel the hinging of that rib cage, and how that changes everything in the alignment in the body. The space between the shoulder blades, tucking chin, crown lifts. Take a breath in. Exhale, just let it go with a sigh through your mouth. Inhaling one more conscious breath. Noticing where it is in your belly. Exhale, letting it go. We're going to warm up our hands. Hopefully you haven't done your hair today. We're going to feel the palms rubbing together. And we're going to just place those palms on your eye sockets right now. And just start just with a gentle massage. And bear with me for a moment as I have an arm. And just continuing to massage through your temples, your forehead. And feeling that with your fingertips. Just noticing where you feel the sensation, even if you bring your fingers to the top of the crown. Just noticing how tender it might be. Just feeling and not being afraid to press the fingers into that areas that you're feeling sensation. Since I love working with the myofascial tissue, just knowing that, where there's pain, it's requiring blood flow. So we need to get the blood flowing. And we can only change what we're conscious of. So it works much better if we're conscious of what we're feeling. So feeling the face, coming up even to the back of the neck and going at your own pace and coordinating breath and sensation. As you're feeling the back of your neck, sides, or wherever it is you are at this moment. If you come to your shoulders, you can hold the opposite elbow with the opposite hand and massage through that whole trapezius, getting those fingers right in there. Feeling that, bring it down to shoulders, biceps, triceps. Feeling the forearm, what these arms do for us today, and right through to the wrists, palms, fingers, just washing that right off. Opposite shoulder, come to breath, and when your mind's active, come back to sensation. Your body craves this. The mind gets bored sometimes, but stay with this. And you learn so much about your thoughts when you can settle down. Just feeling through, connecting. Some places might surprise you. You hold so much tension. And again, don't be afraid to dig into the muscle. and letting that go. Tapping through our chest, thymus, so we can activate our immune system. Feeling through chest, belly. Right now, it might feel some seasonal compromise. And just going through hips, thighs, calves, letting that calf just flop side to side, right down, and then the opposite leg. Feeling this right now. And letting that go. Bottom of the feet. I'm feeling all the wakes coming into just a cleansing breath, and feel how, if that's giving you any stimulation in the body, get that energy moving and just take a breath into that. And again, just let it go. We'll take our left hand to the side, reaching the right hand out. We'll bring that arm up to T position, rotating. Feel the rotation at the shoulder, and just come on over. Keeping rooted down with that right hip, feeling the fingertips reaching right now. And playing with your own movement in this, whether you want to be leaning forward, if there's a place in your shoulder blade that you need to connect with, to feel, or that you're surprised with, or it could be straight and even as if you're between two panes of glass and you're feeling more from the hip, rooting down through the hip. But you can always lift the chest up and just feeling right even from the front, the pelvic area, and just breathe into all of these different tweaks to our posture that we can connect with, that's individual to what we're feeling, and what we need to feel, and what we need to connect with. Inhaling it up. Exhale, let that arm float down, palm up, and you get to T height, palm rotates down. Feel that rotation from the shoulder. When the hand gets to the mat, just feel how that side just feels already that it's a little bit of a layer deeper in our relaxation, getting deeper into the muscles. Left hand's out to the side. Inhale that left hand up to T. Feel that rotation of shoulder before you move your wrist and elbow. Then all the way up, fine-tuning the awareness. We think we are often moving into a posture. And you can move on over. Our body tricks us with all of our wonderful compensations, because without them, we'd be immobilized with any pain or any injury. So feeling this right now, and again, playing with it. Whether you want to lean forward into this side bend, feeling it through your shoulder blade, moving that shoulder blade on the back, breathing in. Whether you're between two panes of glass and you're rooting down with that left hip, soften through neck and face. Just feel that left hip rooting. Maybe it's the chest lifting up. And breathe into the front belly. You might not have had as much space one side compared to another. And those are the whispers your body shows you. Inhaling it up, floating that left hand down, rotating your hand at T and just dropping the rest of the way. Shake off those shoulders. Take a cleansing breath here. Exhale. Scan your body. How do you feel? Just noticing. We're going to remove, if you're sitting on a block, I just like to elevate the pelvis. It tilts the pelvis forward, but it's definitely not a necessity. So let's just start circles, the body circles, torso circles, keeping them rooted down through the sits bones. You can keep them small. Just go out of your traditional habitual pattern. Some people like to get them really big. Start small, stay quiet. Or if you're usually small, quiet, go big. And play with just a changing it up a little bit in the body, changing directions when you naturally want to. Really like to foster an inner awareness. And what I offer here is suggestion for your own wisdom, to follow your own wisdom. Just feeling that right now. One direction and then the other. And where's your breath? And where's your mind? Connect with the sensation with you slow it down even more, every micro movement. It's like, okay, where are you feeling it today? Just noticing that warming up, and notice where it warms up. Through groin and thigh, low back. Staying connected. Let's do one more circle around. Coming back to your center. Feeling that right now. Hands behind. Feeling your fingertips. Pressing in, and now the base of the fingers, the palm. Feeling the whole hand. Connect with how it feels in your forearm and your wrists. Just changing weight slightly side to side. Just playing with your fingers of where they're facing in behind. Lift up through chest. You can bring your chin up, take a breath in. And just notice where breath is traveling. Exhale, just releasing. We'll bring our knees out in front. Since they have been bent in our cross leg, you can straighten them all the way and shake off. Let that energy flow, like a sponge, picturing it, and then it just flushes. Once it's constricted, and then it can flush all that area. Let the energy flow. Circling toes here, one direction, then in the other. And can you feel it from your hip? Do you feel both hips equally? Does your mind just go one side compared to another? When you're scanning your body, is it right-sided dominant? Can you bring that domination over to the opposite side? Just noticing. If that doesn't make sense to you, just let it go and breathe. Bending your knees. And we'll just start dropping, but gently, starting slow, feeling the motion coming from that hip. So even if it's one leg at a time, just feeling that motion. Where do you feel it? Do you feel it hip flexor? Just noticing one leg and then the opposite. Coordinating these movements and making them slow enough allows the brain to wire up and connect with, this is what you want me to do, okay? Because a lot of times we move through our hips. We're moving, we're compensating as we're doing it. So keeping that motion connected to the muscles that need to do the movement, not putting yourself further, because what gets involved when it's like pushing further takes away from just rewiring our nervous system and our muscle patterning. Keep it slow and breathe into this. Do far more beneficial movements by moving consciously like we're doing, staying connected with what we're feeling. And your body will thank you in the long run. Bringing your feet now into your butterfly. Let's get into that groin area. You can bounce the knees, sit tall, noticing how that feels. Even how if you can compare yourself to when you started yoga, did you used to curve? And notice how your body is changing, it's shaping. And just feel that through your low back, that you can press in, create just a little arching in the low back. And feel this and how it changes if you're not pressing into sits bones and your butterfly and you're rounded through your back. And then when you press it to sits bones coming forward, how that changes through the hip. And how we get those muscles going. Okay. I'm at it. We're doing it. I'm feeling that right now. When you're ready to drawing those knees forward, squeeze them in. And we'll just do one more thing. We're going to do bar rock the baby with our leg. So taking your right leg and just bringing it up, taking your left hand, holding on to that right foot, just playing right now. Just feel that movement, keeping your torso still, your hips still. You can put your hand right on that hip. Feel the movement coming from the hip. How does it feel in your thigh? Where's your breath right now? You can circle around with that knee. And then you can actually clasp that right arm right around it. It was kind of nice and neat to feel the movement and getting all those muscles to working the way they're meant to. Just rocking that right now. And sitting tall again, feeling it soften through shoulders, soften through brow. And when you're ready, just squeeze that leg in. If you've got the ability to grab that big toe, you can straighten out that leg or in the direction of straightening out that right leg. Play with it here. If that's comfortable, if you want to grab a tie, you can grab a tie on your foot. And just feeling this movement now. So a longer lever puts a bit more strain in that joint. Feeling that. Bending it. Straighten. And now staying connected with your foot. Bring it in and behind. Feeling that sensation on your thigh. Soften right now what you can. Can you soften your left hip? Inhale it forward and up. Inhaling it back. Staying for a breath. Inhaling up. I will exhale back this time. Just feeling what that feels like. And then letting it go. Straighten out that leg. Shake off that hip. Feel that movement coming right, the lever right from the hip. A lot of times we can trick ourselves by just moving ankles and knees, but get that movement coming right from your hip. Releasing that one and place that right leg in front. Again, let's just grab that left foot. Now I'm getting the dyslexia. Left foot with the right hand and feel this movement right now. In this hip, you can feel the movement coming from this hip. If you want, you can circle it. Where's your breath? Breath will float you through all of this. It's connecting with sensation, and when the mind gets busy, like, oh, this is hard, or I can't do this, just come back to breath. Go into your own range of motion. You can take that left arm and wrap it around the leg and rock that little baby. Feel that movement coming right from hip. I like to place my left hand on that left hip. And you can feel that movement. And when you're ready, you can squeeze it in tight. Take a breath into that. Exhale, releasing. And if you've got the ability, grab a tie or grab that big toe, straighten out that leg. Feeling it right now. How does it feel? I'm just getting some movement here. Like I said on the other side, this is more strain because our lever is longer. Strain in the joint. So come to your modification if you need it. Inhale, exhale, releasing, sitting tall. Inhale up, bringing that foot behind, staying connected. Feeling what you feel on this side. Keeping that knee off the ground if you can. If you want to rest it, you can. But feeling that thigh. Inhale it up, through, forward, up, movement and wiring up our brains with this muscle movement. So neat that when you start yoga and everything's so new, and then once your body knows where to go, it's eager to be there. And when you're ready, releasing that down, you can straighten up that leg. Just shake off that hip, the legs, you can straighten out both, wiggle off. And when you're ready, we're going to come to our hands and knees. We're going to get movements of the spine, so we've been working through the hip area, and just even from here, let's just do a little bit of a circle now. And if it's uncomfortable for your knees, fold your mat or grab a blanket, put it under your knees. Joint pain is never okay. Say it over and over, but it's so true that we can often push ourselves through positions. So we'll just do these body circles and just linger in the places that your body feels sensation. Connect with it with breath and motion. And just enjoying how it feels. How does it feel in the low back, through the shoulders? You can drop your hips forward, but coming to whatever depth you want to in this posture. And reversing direction, softening through shoulders, softening through face. How does it feel when you change directions? Just notice it. Where's your breath? What can you soften? Been lingering in the places with the shoulders. Do the circles feel like circles, or do they have a flat spot to them? It's another whisper your body shows you. And when you're ready, go back and sit back on our heels. Shake off the wrists for a minute. And actually just let's warm up the wrists because we'll be in table position. So making a bracelet with your opposite hand, and I'm using my left hand now, circling and circling around in one direction, splaying fingers, moving your hand, palm up, top of the hand up, palm up, palm down, that's better. In one direction and then in the other. Squeeze the fingers together and then release them, squeeze them together, release them. Shake that off. Let's do the other wrist. Making your bracelet, isolating that movement to the wrist. Forearms do enough work, so. How did the circle feel on this side? This knee help can refer through to your palm up, splay those fingers, palm down. You just do whatever feels right for your body. Finding those little hooks and crannies of sensation. And when you're ready, squeeze and release, squeeze and release. Shaking off those shoulders, and let's just come to our table position. You can have your toes curled if you want, or you can have them flat, whatever feels right for you. We'll do our typical cat-cow, tailbone up, but stay connected. You've done it long enough that you can feel the vertebrae, because you can connect. This is our nervous system, so stimulating it, knees underneath your hips, tailbone up. Feel each vertebrae, so tailbone tucks under. Noticing if there's any flat spots where the vertebrae are maybe just a little bit fused. Bringing yourself up into your scared cat. Reversing directions. Starting at the base of the spine again. Connect with each vertebrae with the last to come up with your chin. Face looking forward, strong in your arms. Inhale. Breathe right into that belly area, right down to the pubic bone. Exhale, tailbone under. Is your equal weight on both knees, both hands? Just another whisper if you find your imbalance. Inhaling. And just doing a few at your own pace and your own depth. Following breath and movement. When you're ready, we'll just drop down to our elbows. Let's do our cat-cow with that one. So tailbone up. Bring it to the middle back, then lift up through chest, press into elbows. Can you feel any referral into those shoulders? Lifting up with your chin, but not scrunching the back of your neck. Take a breath in. Exhale, tailbone tucks under and rounding. Feeling this, if you press your elbows in, it's like you can splay your shoulder blades on your back. You can press hips back a little bit. Get a little bit more movement through that shoulder, through the shoulder blades. And when you're ready, inhaling it forward, tailbone up, lifting up through chest. Exhale, tailbone under. We're just unsticking our shoulder blades with that fascia tissue that's sticking them on our rib cage. And when you're ready, inhale, coming back to center. Take our left hand and straighten out the right leg. Just equal weight on both knees. Let's just pull back on finger pads if you need a little bit more. Because even with pulling back before you even drop down, you can feel an activation coming right from the armpit. Inhale. Exhale, melt. Melt a little bit. Melt like butter. Just feel yourself just softening. What can you soften to be here? If it hurts your neck, drop your head down. Just let your body weight do the melting. Taking a breath in. Exhale, soften. Soften that armpit, soften the holding on. That's a habitual patterning of our muscles, not letting us in. It's a wonderful thing, they protect us. But when it becomes chronic, we don't move our bodies the way we need to. And when you're ready, just inhaling and just bringing that right arm back gingerly. Placing the left hand behind that left elbow. Let's straighten out the left arm. You can pull back on finger pads, and before you even drop down, how does it feel? Where do you feel it? Can you feel it in that deltoid, the top of the shoulder? You feel it in armpit. So different each side. And then even wiggle from here, your hip back and forth slightly, like just micro movement. See how that changes sensation. If it's bringing strain in the neck, drop that gaze down. You can even drop the head down if you want. And as I'm yapping, I hope you're breathing. Take a breath in. Exhale, just melting, melt down, melt the chest. Just feeling this right now. Softening through face, softening through shoulder. Inhale. If you ever feel trembling coming out of a muscle, that's a good thing too. It's releasing tension. Bodies are amazing. They're so complicated. Inhaling, bringing this back. Now just gingerly with your shoulders, seeing how it feels. Let's just bring both hands out in front and dropping our hips back, melting down. And just letting that drop your head down to the mat. You don't need to have it held up if it creates any strain through your shoulders or through your neck. And when you're ready, if you've got any trembling at all, just let it filter right through the body. And when you're ready, you can just sit back, part your knees, sit back on your heels, and just draw your arms around and just drop your head down. We're just going to take 3 cleansing breaths here. So just doing that at your own pace, your own depth. Tune me out when you need to. Breathing. Exhale, softening. Noticing what you're feeling, just feeling the back body with your breath. Watching the rise and fall. Soften shoulders, soften thighs, soften hips. And when you're ready, just press back up, bringing the knees together. Let's come back up to our table. Good thing we've stimulated our wrists and got them opened up and working, that synovial fluid. We'll press back with that right heel and just do our little calf stretching right now. Just feeling this. It's kind of like a nice morning wake up. And even though it's a nice gentle morning for us, it's still, there's such a depth to it. Never underestimate the depth of what we're doing. You can play with the movement of where your heel is, bringing it inside. Play with every strike back or rock back. Playing with a different heel position. And when you're ready, we'll release that heel down, straighten out the back. Strong in your arms. You're not sagging through your shoulders, strong in your arms. And if it is hard to hold up into shoulders, depends on the day. Every day can be so different. Drop down to your elbows. We don't want shoulder strain either. We want to find those muscles. Playing with every rock back with your heel position. All the way out to the far outside. And when you're ready, just release that back. We're going to straighten out the right leg. We might as well cross it over, do another movement of the spine. How does this feel on hip? If you bring your right leg across that bent left leg and look long with a long spine over to those right toes, looking over your left shoulder. Take a breath into the space you're creating through the hip, through the belly, side belly. Expand the rib cage. Staying for another breath, softening what you can. Softening hips. Breathe your breath into the side body. When you're ready, inhale. Exhale, releasing, bringing that knee back. Straightening out that left leg, crossing it over the bent right. Before you even move into the side bend, how does it feel? You can soften the top of the foot on the floor. Kind of give a wiggle into that hip. How do the shoulders feel? Are you still strong in your arms? Long body, inhale. Exhale, look over that right shoulder. Look at those left toes over the right side. Now notice your body's shape, and breathe into the side, the belly, the rib cage, the hip. Scanning your body now to find out what can I soften here? Inhale. Exhale, soften shoulders. When you're ready, inhale back. We'll press back into an extended puppy. Walk your arms away. Just drop one shoulder down and drop the other. There's method in all this madness for getting movement through those shoulders in our back, melting through just that fascial tissue. And fascial tissue is so strong. So it keeps us together, sometimes two together. We're gonna let loose once in a while. And when you're ready, let's come up. Let's curl the toes and let's come into a down dog. Feeling the dog right now. And walking your dog. Splaying your fingers. Instruction, like I said last week, was always index finger, thumb, but I've been playing with using that little finger, ring finger, baby finger, opening up the chest a bit more, opening up the front of the body, just breathing into this walking, pressing back through your heels. They don't have to come to the floor. Just feel what you feel. Feel the feels. Just changing weight one side to the other. When you're ready, inhale. Exhale, we'll drop down. Sitting back on our heels. Coming up onto our knees if it's comfortable for you. Just going to do a modified posture here. We'll bring our hands back to our hips. So long arms just warming up through that shoulder. Releasing and bringing them back to our sacrum, to our hips. Keeping your knees, your hips over your knees, pressing your hips forward. Lifting your chest, bringing elbows together. Take a breath in. Into this front body. Exhale, dropping back with your head. Taking a breath in. Really bringing breath as deep into your belly as you can. Exhale. Soften neck, soften shoulders. So we're not leaning back. So if we were pressing back for our heels, we don't want to lean. We want to keep this 90 degrees at the hips and at the knees. Inhale. Exhale. Press into those hips. Bring them forward. Feeling a stretch or sensation on the front thighs. And when you're ready, inhale. Exhale, releasing. And that was a back bend. So we're just going to counter stretch that back bend. Just coming forward into a child pose. And just take a couple breaths here. Just feeling the breath. Breathe it into your low back. Breathe it into the back body. And when you're ready, we're going to come onto our backs. Straightening out one leg, straighten up the other. We're not in Shavasana yet. Do love to, when we have the support of the floor, to let the energy just flow of what we've been working into those layers of the muscle. Taking a breath into this. Exhale. Just letting it go. Bringing the knees. Placing your feet under the knees. You can lift up the hips and just drop them down. Just finding that comfortable placement of your body. Drawing the right knee into the chest. Straightening up the leg. Pressing through heel. Interlacing your hands behind the right thigh. Done some hip work today, so just noticing how it feels. Even if you want a gentle circle in one direction or the other. Just noticing. Inhale, draw that knee into the chest, breathe into the belly. Tuck your chin so your neck is long. Take a breath into belly. Exhale, draw that knee in. We always start with the right, keep the flow of digestion stimulated. Inhale. Soften shoulders, soften face. Straighten that leg up. Let's just draw it down to the mat. Let it go. Feel that spontaneous relaxation. Just take another breath in and let it flow right out your toes. Bending that right leg again and just drawing that left knee into your chest. I'm just feeling this right now. Straightening that leg up to the ceiling. Press up through heel before you bring any movement. Just feeling that. How does it feel in your hamstring? How does it feel in the calf? You can keep your hips square, drawing that leg a little closer to your belly, closer to your chest. If straight leg isn't comfortable, you can bend the leg. We're playing with pressing, toes, maybe circling now. How does it feel? We warmed up those hips earlier, so it's like maybe less sensation, which is wonderful because it'll be moving with the muscle function it's meant for. Changing directions. I didn't say it, but I didn't. Just following your own intuition. Inhaling, softening. And when you're ready, we'll just drop that knee into your chest. Keep those hips square, keep that tailbone pressing down. Inhale into belly, into that constriction. Plump it right up. Exhale. Draw the knee into the chest. And when ready, we'll just release that leg. Let's release it on down to the mat and wait till it touches the mat and let go. You can straighten out that left leg as well. Just feel the whole from the hips down, the relaxation. It's beyond relaxation. That word's kind of got a different connotations to different people. It's just getting into these deeper layers of the muscles. It's so important, so profound. 5 koshas of our body. Bringing your elbows up, crossing your elbows, grab your opposite elbow with your opposite hand. And we'll come into our dream of genie, but on our backs. and just start circling around. And hopefully you're old enough to know what I'm talking about. And just bringing those around. Just doing some circles, lingering way out to the side if you need something in an arm. And just slowly, micro movement. Because if notice how if you just go fast, just skim over your surface. If you slow it down and breathe into this, you can just say, oh, okay, it refers here. I like to skim over this part because I'm feeling a little bit more sensation from the top of the shoulder. Just play with that. Just noticing how our mind wants to protect, the body and muscles want to protect. That's where our nervous systems stay in fight or flight. So this is homeostasis you're bringing your nervous system to by being here slowly. Breathing, reversing directions. Circling around. Lingering, slowing it. It's harder to go slow, but notice how it's maybe bumpy along the way. Maybe you feel a little more sensation. Those are the whispers. Drawing your elbows right back towards the ears, bringing your biceps to the ears. Breathe into the front body, exhale, just drawing them down. Now, even with working the hands, let's release one hand and the opposite hand to the floor. Just notice the spontaneous relaxation. Let the tension that we've created in the shoulders, in the trapezius, come right down to your hands and out your fingertips, taking breath in. Exhale. Let it float right out your fingers. Bye-bye tension. And now scan your body. Ask yourself if there's anything that you want to do before you go into Shavasana. Whether it's drawing both knees into the chest, whether it's rocking, whether you just want to stay in that state of relaxation. Just noticing how it feels. Releasing one leg, the other if you're up. And do your dance. Keeping your mind focused on sensation instead of what laundry needs to be done or where you need to be next. It's amazing how our minds work. Just come back to breath. Soften. And just let go. Life and having fun. I will read our card of the day. By visualizing my desired outcome, perfect action is always inspired. As your desire to feel good leads you to thoughts that feel good, the perfect action will be inspired from that alignment. And that inspired action is always joyful. Happy Monday, everyone. A wonderful day. Namaste.